So I did this geology class online, and I thought it'd be great to watch all these videos and just be done with it. But actually, it was horrible because I had to stay awake through these videos, and I could not stay awake. Anyway, lesson 9 is turning your paper into a presentation. Okay, so the really good news is that the work that I've saved for the end is the easiest work to do. Our paper, putting together a paper 2 is the hardest part, in my view, the thing that students struggle with the most. And after that, we kind of like are able to coast, thank God. So turning paper 3 into a presentation. I talk a little bit here about how I revise my presentations to you. I think about an ethical framework for what I want to present, how I want to give people information, and how I want to influence them, ethically speaking, in ways that I think are positive, but aren't like trying to force them into positions that they might not. I don't know, just trying to brainwash people, I guess, right? I choose examples that I feel will work for the audience, and you guys know each other much better as an audience, at least to the extent that you're all around the same age. I add or subtract visuals, trying to add visuals, just to sort of keep people engaged. Not in these videos, but add more or less explanation. One class I don't explain enough, and the next class I explain a lot more. I use ethos because I talk about my own writing and that I've taught in the past, and I have examples from my own life. I use logos to explain things logically. I hope, at least that's my goal. And I use pathos to get people emotionally invested, right? That's part of the reason we did the check-ins around the room. That's part of the reason why I got everybody to talk every class period, so that people would become emotionally engaged, because they'd heard each other's voices and hopefully felt safe in sharing, because that's my number one priority, honestly. I said it was fallacies, didn't I? But so many number one priorities. Okay, you want to balance visuals and videos and listening, and you want to figure out how to split things up and what's a natural order for giving your information, right? The reason you are doing all this is because you are taking your paper 3. I'm not really into this with my limited ability to entertain you online. You're taking paper 3 and turning it into a presentation for your peers. The good news about this is all the people who didn't want to present live, you don't have to. You can just record yourself in a video as I'm recording myself now, right? And this should be something we can do online. It's going to take you some time to watch all the videos and respond to them, but hopefully they'll be pretty interesting. I've done this activity many, many times, turning the last paper into a presentation, and it really is a nice way to have the last few things that we do together feel like they're fulfilling, like you're getting to your final purpose, you've been learning, and now you actually get to use the learning. And the topics are so varied because everyone's doing different stuff, so it's usually pretty engaging. So you need some questions before you really put your presentation together, and I'm a real stickler about this, the idea that you should never, if you can avoid it, present information to people without finding out first what they know, right? I'm really at a disadvantage here with the video. But you want to know what they already know, and you want to know what they're interested in so that you can actually address the audience and not just yammer on a bunch of stuff that, you think you want to yammer on about. Although that's fun. So you need 3 to 5 questions before you put together your presentation, and you will be sharing those with your fellow students. They'll be filling them out. For example, maybe you'll say, how much, or not how much, what do you know about online testing and education? You could do a big open-ended broad one. Or something like, soybeans represent 60% of American crops, true or false. You can ask people to do things on a continuum, like how prepared do you feel for graduate school? Very somewhat, one of those kind of things. You can have them do ratings on a scale of 1 to 10, or maybe a multiple choice. Why is legalizing marijuana a plus in our country? Which one do you think is the most, the biggest advantage? And then having people pick it. So, however you want to set those up, the 3 to 5 questions, you also want to be thinking about how you can make them really comparable. Sometimes people use the same questions for the. My hand just gets. Where is it? Make them comparable between the time 1 and the time 2, between the pre and the post. This is another way that we're getting to do some primary research. And I think a super valuable exercise for you guys to go through, because no matter what your field, you probably will end up doing some presenting here and there. And this gives you a round to like test that out and think about tailoring presentations to your actual audience. So you will, after they do the pre-surveys, then you will record your presentation. Then you'll have post questions for people. So if you are watching videos, you need to do the pre and watch and then the post. Otherwise, it won't make any sense. But we'll figure out how to do that in a way that, excuse me, makes more sense. Coffee time. Oh, that's right. The way we're going to do it is I left a place for you to post your pre-survey questions. So that's how we will do that, I think. I'll continue to follow up and see if that makes sense to people.